Eagles rookie minicamp is finally underway, and today we'll get our first peek at some of the Birds' newest additions via the NFL draft. Also, did the Eagles bring in a secret weapon? We'll talk more about that. And Saquon Barkley roasting the Giants fans. You have to love it. What is up, everybody? Welcome in to A to Z Philly. Do us a favor. Like the show, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy this coverage. We'll be here all off season. And I want to know from Eagle Nation down in the comments section, who do you think is going to pan out as the best offseason addition? Obviously, the Eagles have done so much. Howie has added a lot through the draft, through free agency. But if there's one guy who you think is going to be the prized winner of the offseason, who is it? I got to go with Saquon Barkley. And I want to start off with what he had to say to New York Giants fans. But before we jump into that, a quick shout out to our sponsor of today's video, and that's BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up with our code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get parlays, live bets, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. So with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with our bonus code ATOZPA. And get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. And I'm actually going to go out and make my first bold take of the year. That's right. I'm going to give you the little betting insight looking into the future, okay? If Saquon Barkley is not pissed off already, if he is not already agitated with the Giants, then I don't know what else to say, because they're jawing, they're clapping back at him, and the Sixers and Knicks had a very intense playoff series, and obviously Philly, New York, right? There's still some bad blood from them for Saquon Barkley. And if I had to say in the first matchup, when the Eagles go up against the Giants this year, Saquon is going to eclipse 150 total yards and 2 touchdowns. That's my odd of the far future. I know it's too early, right? But am I crazy to think that? Like, I really think Saquon Barkley is going to torch the New York Giants in the first matchup. And if I had to pick the prize winner of the offseason, the best addition, I think it's Saquon Barkley. Obviously, there's questions about how he'll be used, but I think he's going to be healthy all year. I think he's going to be an absolute monster in this offense, which is just, they are loaded in so many different ways. And, you know, Saquon Barkley told the Giants fans, yo, it's time to move on, man. They were heckling him at the Wells Fargo Center in Game 6. Saquon Barkley was actually there with A.J. Brown. Look at that. Nice to see the new guys, you know, or the new guy with one of the other guys who just signed an extension, building that chemistry, right? 2 of the best players in the NFL when it comes to their respective positions. And, man, just shout out to A.J. and Saquon for, you know, establishing that chemistry. But here's what Saquon said to the Giants fans. 1, it's been 2 months. No way you can still be this mad. Can't even go to a basketball game. So again, they were heckling him. They were all over him. And second, he says, let me educate some of you fans. I can't bail or become a traitor if I never got an offer to come back. I went to the organization I felt that was the best. And after already being here for a month, I'm excited to be an Eagle. Go Birds. Oh, this is going to be the best villain story ever. I'm serious, man. The Giants better watch out. Saquon is going to feast when he goes up against them, and the Giants really haven't done that much this offseason. So right now, I think the Eagles are obviously winning the NFC East when it comes to the offseason. Nick Sirianni talked about some of these vets. He says that for Eagles rookie minicamp, A.J. Brown and Jordan Mailata, 2 of the vets, both were there coaching on the field and in the meeting rooms, and the new crop of team leaders is already stepping up. Absolutely, man. These guys are the now, they're the present, and they're also the future, right? And some of these new guys, these young cats, are going to be looking up to the AJs and the Jordan Mailatas of the world. And no matter how many people try to paint AJ Brown out to be the bad guy, he's just an incredible guy. He's an incredible leader and an incredible player. And we have some first looks here at Eagles rookie minicamp. And the first one, shout out to Jake Rabadi of the NFL, who put this clip up from Victor Williams. And look at Cooper DeJean, man. Look at that, flipping the hips. Let's watch it again. Look at that. Cooper DeJean. Great footwork, great technique. They said he can't play outside corner. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he'll play some safety. No matter where he's at, I think he's going to contribute. And there was a video surfacing over the week of Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie and how they thought they had missed out on him. They thought, who was it? The Rams had traded up to get him, and they passed, and Howie was just so ecstatic, and they got their guy. So shout out to the Birds for getting it done. Cooper DeJean looking really nice here on day one of rookie minicamp. And here's one of the later round picks, Johnny Wilson, 6'6" wide receiver. Obviously, has to work on some technique there. Nice start and stop. A little bit slow in my opinion, but this guy was talked about a lot in the pre-draft process, and he ended up going later than I'd say people expected. But there's always some gems, right? There's always some diamonds in the rough. I'm not saying he's going to be that guy, but the Eagles, in my opinion, will certainly look at everybody. They'll analyze the whole roster. Whoever shows up to training camp with an invite, is going to be evaluated because they still will need another wide receiver. Obviously, it's not as prominent because AJ and Devontae fill so many gaps and they're just so prolific. But you're going to need another guy, right? Quez Watkins wasn't able to step up and be that dude consistently. So, it's up for grabs, that third wide receiver spot. Will it be Paris Campbell? Will it be Devontae Parker? Or do they look at one of the younger players here? We also see Jeremiah Trotter Jr., obviously, very aesthetic, and seeing him wear the number 54, that's just awesome, man. That's incredible seeing him be here. I'm sure it's emotional for his father. But here's my favorite part. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. says he will live at home with his dad and save money. That's what it is about, man. Financial literacy. This guy seems like he has a good head on his shoulders, right? You could get a player come in here and say, oh, well, my dad was the guy and I'm going to be the guy. He doesn't seem cocky in any single way. Seems like a very good, nice young kid who's going to put his head down and work. And that's all you can ask for. He says, Jeremiah Trotter says it's a huge benefit for his son. He's gone through all the things that Junior will go through, and he can prepare him and be a sounding board. Yeah, I mean, playing in a city like Philadelphia, it does take a little bit extra, right? You have to understand the fan base, the crowd, why they react, why they act the way that they do, right? And Trotter Jr. has already seen all of that in the third. Like, he's been through it with his father, so it should be a much more seamless process for him, and I'm glad, that he does have his father to lean on, and we'll be living with him, right? Maybe he'll give him some criticism on game days. We will see, man. Now, shout out to Jake Rabadi again, because he confirmed here from Aaron Wilson that a return specialist, Jaem Grant, will attend Eagles rookie minicamp. Now, you may think, who is this guy? Why does it matter? It says here he's 31, hasn't played in an NFL game since 2021, but it shows that the Eagles are looking very deeply into many options due to these new rules, right? We talked about them a couple months ago, and I can't even remember them all off the top of my head, but the landscape of the NFL return now is going to be much, much different, and you're going to need to find some of these niche guys who maybe just practice that one skill. And this could be an opportunity for a Jaem Grant to find his way back in the NFL. It says here that he has 6 career return touchdowns, most recently one with the Chicago Bears, and he's also played for the Miami Dolphins. So again, maybe the Eagles try to find one of these guys that they can plug in who's just good at that, and maybe give them a little bit of a boost, right? On these kick returns, it's not a bad thing to try out. Maybe you have one guy on your roster dedicated to that. Who knows what teams will do? Unfortunately, Boston Scott signed with the LA Rams. I thought Boston Scott would have been a perfect player for something like that, and it does suck to see Boston Scott go because I was a really big fan of him, but, it's a business, and you can't have too many backs. Can't have too many backs. Speaking of backs, here is Eagles' newest draftee, Will Shipley, talking about how impactful it is to have Jeremiah Trotter Jr. with him. They were teammates at Clemson. Let's hear what he has to say.
Oh, it's iron sharpens iron. That's exactly what it is. When we came in, we both knew what we wanted to do as freshmen at Clemson. That's get on the field, play, compete for a national championship, and just go be our best. And with that, him being a linebacker, me being a running back, we butted heads a lot. We got after it in practice, and we just always competed. So to have him here is one, it's great to have a friend, someone I'm familiar with, but also someone I know that's going to push me every single day. And
that's awesome, man. And I love the competitive spirit, the competitive nature, right? You can acknowledge you guys are friends, but, when you put the pads on, boom, we're going at it. And it is nice to have that little comfort spot and, probably a guy that has talked to him many times over the past several years. So glad they get the link up in Philly. And then we get Jaycee Hunt who was a, I guess, surprise pick for many people, but he actually called Howie Roseman, right? The phone call was really loud when Howie called him, and he was like trying to talk, but he's like, I can't hear, it's too loud. And he called Howie Roseman big pimpin' when the team called him to tell him he was going to be selected. Let's hear what he has to say about that.
Yeah, I would say yeah. It's how I normally talk. I'm really excited at the moment. It's not how I handle business situations per se.
I mean, this is Philadelphia. You know, you're going to get those types of questions, but at the end of the day, Jaycee Hunt seems like another guy. It feels like the Eagles did their due diligence and they did their homework and drafted guys who are, you know, very wise and just good, upstanding people as well. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. Jaycee Hunt hopefully can be one of those diamonds in the rough. Howie has had success in those mid rounds drafting at those positions. So we'll see if he can add some much needed depth. And with that being said, man, now you get into it. The Eagles roster is here. Who's going to rise up, right, and make that first solid impression? We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like the show, share the show, and subscribe. Give me all your thoughts down below. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.